everybody.
Hey.
I am Big Dizzle, and I'm here with the wrestling historian, the big bald head of justice himself, Dutchie.
You.
And we're here with the man that puts the E in a rigged election, Eric.
What's up?
And we're back to the show. Big money, C Buddy.
Yo.
2 times in 1 week.
Yes.
He's going to ask for more money in his contract.
No, fuck.
Might have to do that, yo.
All right,
He works that was really convenient, though. I like it like that.
We can talk after the show, Cleneth.
the fuck we will. I'm on just SmackDown. No, but we have a great topic today, ladies and gentlemen, for the Wrestling Through the Years program. We are here talking about Survivor Series 2002, which was honestly a phenomenal show, and I'm excited to talk about it.
And it's funny how, like, 2002 was really the start of the Ruthless Aggression era, and you could tell that the wrestling started getting better.
Yeah.
Because Attitude Era was all about, basically like the hardcore matches and, putting people through tables and slapping butts and, basically planting Lita on her head and all that shit. And among other women as well. But Ruthless Aggression, they cared more about actual wrestling.
And they changed the name to WWE in May.
Yeah. It went from WWF to WWE to where, but they cared about the wrestling, but it was still like entertainment.
Yep.
It's just weird how you change the name from World Wrestling Federation to World Wrestling Entertainment, but then the wrestling starts getting better. Even though Vince has always been like, God damn it, we're not wrestling. We're entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. But this is what the wrestling, you had the SmackDown 6 on this motherfucker. You had Chavo, you had Eddie, you had Benoit, you had Kurt, and you had Edge and Ray. And you had a phenomenal card, undercard, main event scene, everything. Like, there was a big return on here that we'll get to. This show had everything. We've gone back and watched a lot of bullshit. Came out here and reviewed a couple of real shitty cards sometimes. But this isn't one of those. This is one that's kind of fires on all cylinders. At least it did for me.
Yep. 5
As
title
far as
matches.
predictions, what's the big stuff announced for SmackDown tonight?
I'm trying to. Chelsea Green is wrestling a mystery opponent.
Okay.
Now, they advertise that LA Knight is supposed to wrestle for the U.S. title against Nakamura, but Nick Aldis announces a U.S. title tournament to find a new number 1 contender, and LA Knight's in it. So there's going to be 3 matches, which are Carmelo Hayes and Braun Strowman, Andrade and Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight and Santos Escobar, and then the 3 winners are going to face each other in a triple threat. So I'm assuming that that's going to start tonight.
So there you go. As far as the chamber, here's the big predictions. We kind of did this on the breakdown, but for the people that didn't watch that, Cleneth, who's winning the men's elimination chamber?
I'm still going with John Cena.
Eric, who's winning the men's elimination chamber?
I'm going to change it. I'm going to be different and say Seth Rollins.
Okay. Doug, who's winning the men's elimination?
I want it to be Punk because I feel like Punk and Cody is a good bit, especially if they do this whole Hollywood Cody thing.
Yeah.
And normally I would say Cena because I like Cena. But he hasn't been there, so he's got to fuck himself. Like, fuck off. You start showing up at shows, you can go for your 17th.
Yeah. So you're going Punk.
Yeah.
To go different like Eric, because Punk would probably be my choice, but to go different, I think there's a story that could be told. Damian Priest is winning the elimination. Damian Priest gets it done. Yeah, maybe he does. I'd like to see. Well, I mean, I'd like to see Punk, but I think Damian could do it.
Yeah.
I
could see a scenario Drew wins it.
Me too. How about the women's chamber?
The only one that makes sense is Bianca.
Eric?
I'm sticking with my girl, Bailey.
Of course you are.
And plus, I want to be different, too.
So you got Cleneth.
Oh man, I'm thinking I might have to go Bianca too.
Yeah, she seems like the heavy favorite. Just to go different again, like Eric, Naomi.
And well, here's the thing. One, Eric Eric's always been into Bailey, but ever since that butt lift, like ever since Bailey got herself a new tushy.
It's not new. It's the same tushy. She just put work.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
She didn't get a surgery.
I mean, Eric's, himself considering going for a Brazilian butt lift.
I could see you with one.
I actually did go in for one, but when I put my ass on the table, the table broke, so they told me to get out. They sent me a bill for $5,000.
No, they didn't. You're paying it off monthly.
Yeah,
If you did, you'll still be paying it off now.
All right. What's the other big matches? First this one. Will The Rock get Cody's soul?
No. I think they're gonna swerve us at WrestleMania.
Who gets the soul? Who gives Rock his soul? Do you think anybody on the Elimination Chamber? Cleneth threw out Cena last time. Anybody else that could be the Rock's champion?
I'm gonna say Cena, or they're gonna swerve us, and it's gonna be Cody.
Because that's where I think Damian Priest plays it.
He's a good one.
The Rock could give him the world.
But
go ahead, Cleneth.
I'm throwing out Punk.
All right, well, I'll see your Punk, and I'm going to raise you as Seth Rollins.
Well, there you go.
Oh, and the reason why I say that is who protested Monday night.
Seth Rollins.
All right, and usually the one that bitches the most is usually the one that's guilty.
And he's done a little stabbing of the back in the past.
Yeah, I mean he stabbed. He stabbed the Shield in the back. He basically, when Cody told everybody to pour his pecs, Seth Rollins went after him with a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for it to be Seth Rollins again because he protested.
I'm gonna throw this out here.
We're always
what if it's Roman Reigns himself?
Huh?
What if it's Reigns himself?
Well, you think? Well, Roman's not in the chamber.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm talking about nobody in the chamber to be it.
Roman shows up to be Rock's champion. That could happen. That's a good spin.
They are cousins, so
that could happen. Make it a triple threat. Roman's done triple threats before at WrestleMania. That could happen.
I still say we're getting that triple threat between Punk, Rollins, and
Roman. Yeah.
Roman.
Most likely, I agree with that.
Or what if here's another scenario, right? Rock's on the board. And well, I mean, it's not a scenario. Rock is actually on the board. They start the chamber, and we're about 20 minutes into the match or whatever, and we're down to like the last two, and they beat the crap out of each other. Rock comes out and says, "Oh yeah, by the way, we have a new person in the chamber." Brings out Roman.
Yeah.
And Roman beats the last two guys who have already beat the crap out of each other.
That could happen. That's a good one.
Or he brings out Roman at the end after, let's say, Punk or Cena win, and he says, all right, this match is happening right now.
You do an Edge on Cena. With Roman.
Yeah, and Edge on Cena. Batista did it to Cena before.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns has done it before. He did it to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been done. He could do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that. What's the other big matches?
Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, unsanctioned.
I'm going Sammy.
I'm going KO.
I'm gonna say KO just because mid-card Cross probably can't keep his fucking nose out of
There he is.
business.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm just going with KO for past history.
All right. I think Randy might come back and help Sammy. So
I mean, that could be it too. I mean, either way, somebody is getting screwed out of the victory. Either Randy's going to do it to KO or mid-card's going to do it to Sammy.
So what's the fourth match? These big 4-match cards.
Trish and Tiffany Stratton
Oh,
versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. It's in Toronto, and you cannot job Tiffany Stratton. I mean, you're already going to job Tiffany at WrestleMania because, Charlotte. There's no way Charlotte's not winning the title at WrestleMania.
Charlotte is going to lose.
Look, I would love to believe that, Cleneth. Nobody wants that bitch to lose more than I do. All right.
And I believe Tiffany is going to win. And that's all that's going to matter.
But the thing is that when it comes to Charlotte getting a title, her stupid attention whore father is going to fucking bitch and moan and complain and be like, oh, Charlotte should get another world title. Charlotte shouldn't get another world title. Like, because that's all he does, because he wants a reason to be on TV.
Right. So it should be a fun chamber. Let's get into the original chamber.
Okay.
Because I agree, Tiffy and Trish are winning. I think we all can agree. Yeah. So let's go into the Elimination Chamber. 2002 Survivor Series. Raw, SmackDown. Brand split is taking place. Stephanie McMahon is the babyface general manager of SmackDown. She's really flaunting that beauty. And you got the sleazy slime ball little fucking twerp Eric Bischoff.
That frog faced motherfucker.
I love him. This is my favorite Eric Bischoff. The heel GM run on Raw I thought was fantastic. And him taking credit for the Elimination Chamber and the brilliance of Eric Bischoff's Monday Night Raw. And I thought all that shit was really good shit. And I think that added to it. And so that's your two GMs. We open up with Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Little Spike Dudley against Rico and the 3-minute warning of Rosie and Jamal, who part of the bloodline, the big historic bloodline. We have the bloodline in here. We have Rosie, who would go on to be a hell of a kick-ass tag team with the Hurricane and win the tag straps. And then you'd have Jamal go on to be Umaga to great success. And I think he made John Cena. So I always say that. Umaga really made him. So Umaga turned out to be a great character. So these guys would go on to do great shit. I thought this was a pretty fun tables match. 6-man tables. Elimination.
This was one of those matches. Like, tables matches has always been. I remember when they first started the tables match, and it had to be both team members had to go through the table.
Yeah.
But then, like, they changed it to where, like, only one of them had to go through.
Yeah.
Because it was, time constraints and all that crap. But I love the fact that they brought it to where, because the concept had been so overdone. But they brought it back to where it was a 6-man tables match because they needed something to kind of resemble Survivor Series.
Yeah. And we're in the Madison Square Garden here.
Yeah.
We're in New York.
Yeah. By the way, where the first tag team tables match took place.
That's badass.
So, and 2 of the 4 guys that were in that match were on the same team. Even when they were opponents in that first match.
Bubba and Jeff?
Yeah.
How over was Jeff Hardy here? It felt like Jeff was really coming into his own. This was one of his times where he could have really went on a run.
Well, that's the thing. He already had the ladder match with Undertaker.
Yeah.
And he was doing really good. But the thing is that, like, he was his own worst enemy.
Yeah. But this is one of those times, like, because you think of the distinctive, like, 08, 09, like when WWE was really propping him up, and then he left and went to TNA, and he was going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
He was a big fixture. He was like the second most over guy in the company after John, and he was selling a lot of merch, and the fans loved him. Men, female, and everybody, kids, everybody loved him. Everybody loved the fucking all that shit. But
I think the whole house just shook.
Hey,
Well, we were both doing it.
I enjoyed it. I think Jeff Hardy, he could have. I don't think he would have. If he would have stuck around this time, he would have done more mid card stuff. Maybe won the Intercontinental title or something. Maybe put him back in the tag stuff. I don't see him going that far.
Well,
The other, like, if he would have stayed in 08, he would have been one of the biggest stars in the business.
well, when he left in 2003, he was in the middle of doing that. In the middle of doing that romantic angle with Trish.
Yeah.
And he left. He left after that. I don't know where exactly that was going.
I don't think they knew where it was going.
Uh,
It just seemed like a little backstage thing to like add something to him, to have her with him.
yeah,
And you had Matt and Lita, and you had him and Trish.
yeah. Well, Lita was hurt,
Yeah.
and Matt was on SmackDown in his own little love connection with Shannon Moore and Crash.
Version 1 Matt Hardy's good stuff, though.
It was, and we got a little bit of it later on in this show.
Yes.
But no, the tables match, like Jeff doing the spot with the Swanton, and then afterwards, like you could tell he wasn't the same, like he was limping around and all that, and then he easily got put through the table by Jamal.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one, by the way, the whole put yourself through tables, that counts. You go through a table, you're done. That Big Show put 1 foot through a table against Cody Rhodes and got fucked, and the match was over. Jeff Hardy put himself through like 3 tables before actually going through a table. And like, he put himself through it again. He's fine. It's like, no, he went through a table. He's done.
Yep.
I love the guy, but still.
But he put himself to a table.
Well,
It's
so
a
did
pony
Big Show when he
show.
stepped on that table in 2012.
Yeah.
Hmm?
You go through that table, you're out.
I guess they changed the rules.
They changed the rules.
Yeah.
They always do that.
How tough is Spike Dudley?
He's a scrappy little
That
bastard.
guy is
Always,
awesome.
he's one of my favorite underdogs of all time. He's one of the best little guy wrestlers. Like he really fucking you believed in Spike Dudley. And you're like,
He had
this
heart.
little guy's gonna take he had so much heart, and you could feel it in the ring. And like his bad guy run was what it was, and I think it was like interesting, but it was never gonna work like underdog Spike Dudley.
And that's why he was always over.
Yeah.
'Cause he
I'll
had
never forget a couple months before this, when Triple H and Bubba were kind of feuding, and like Bubba kept challenging Triple H, and Triple H kept telling him to go suck himself. There was a match, like he was gonna go 1-on-1 non-title match with Spike, and Bubba had come up to him and goes, "You accept it? Like you're wrestling Spike tonight?" He goes, "I'm the one that challenged you, and you're wrestling Spike." He goes, "Look, I know I got challenged by a Dudley. I thought it was the toughest. I thought I got challenged by the toughest one. I thought I got challenged by Spike." And Spike actually gave him a damn good match. And that's the thing. Spike could give you, even though like this, he was like one of the more like they were going to beat the crap out of him for a few minutes and then pin him.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, his style was get your fucking ass. He was a Mikey Whipwreck type of get your ass kicked and then maybe triumph at the end or maybe even not. But you believe in him the whole time, but he gets fucked up. Poor Spike was always fucking flying through something, whether it was ECW or in the WWE when he would come in. But poor Spike. And Spike and Bubba just didn't work as much.
No.
It just didn't work as far like Bubba and Devon have this chemistry that Bubba and Spike could not kind of recap. Spike was a great like third, and I loved in the added during the invasion when they were going against each other. when Spike was against the Dudleys. And
Yeah.
they were
Yeah,
heel.
that was
That's
funny.
good. That was good stuff because Spike's the underdog. That these guys are bad and I'm the good Dudley. And but here, Devon was good, and I like Devon going to. Or I like that. Well, by the way, I wrote it. Devon's big surprise return. That's a big deal at Madison Square Garden. But I loved Bubba slapping Jeff and Spike and be like, "Get the tables." It was fun seeing two other people do it.
Yeah.
He was.
But yeah, Devon coming back. When he had just wrestled as Reverend Devon the night before on Velocity.
Yeah, but it was. That was never going to work. It was time. Him and Deacon Batista, poor Batista, that was his first gimmick. Fucking carrying around a box behind Devon. But, Reverend Devon was one of those ruthless aggression things that are like, why did we try? Because he says a really good testify. So they're like, all right, he's got to be a reverend. But it's like, I didn't love it. Cleneth, were you a fan of Reverend Devon?
I was not a fan of Reverend Devon. I really wasn't. I just thought it was kind of odd. It didn't fit him at all. I didn't like how he was the character. I like the music, but just the character itself, it just wasn't Devon.
No. What did you think of this return?
Oh, I love the return though.
Oh yeah.
Return was awesome.
Yeah, it was a big moment. There were bigger pops on the night, but it was still like the fans really gave a shit. It wasn't as big as like when Taz, debuted at Madison Square Garden, but Devon and the Dudleys reuniting was still a big moment. And it was a really good way to start this card.
Yeah. This is like the definition of a hot opener.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you have 6 guys that are underrated, and you talk about the 6 guys, later on in the tag match we'll talk about later. The 6 are the best to ever do it. But these are 6 really underrated guys that can all go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, Rosie's probably the worst one, but he's still had some really cool moments in that era.
Well, yeah. His moments would come later on.
Yeah.
But they were, and by the way, one guy we have not mentioned yet, even though we mentioned that he's in the match, Rico.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Rico's so underrated. And he's legit tough and a badass. And it's funny that they always have him do feminine gimmicks, but he's a fucking, and he could really go in the ring. He was nasty.
And the thing is that, he went through a spell where he's going through some health problems. I believe they're
all good now?
I believe so. I believe he is still with us. If I'm wrong, then I'm going to hell.
No, you'll be fine.
If you're wrong, then rest in peace.
Did you just say I'm wrong? Or
No, you said
No, if you are wrong.
oh, okay.
All right, Pete.
Yeah,
Eric's a good guy.
but he's not too shabby. But he just, for getting all those effeminate gimmicks. Remember this guy? He was a Las Vegas cop. He was on American Gladiators. He made it to the finals, by the way, of American Gladiators. Tough as they come, and to be saddled with that gimmick and still be tough.
Yeah. Because they were always having him. He was either, with Billy and Chuck, or they had him dressing up in the deal. And he always, worked that shit. And he also kicked some ass, and he was a good wrestler.
When
they were never going to go far with him.
Right.
He was a ruthless aggression era that was very this is a mid-card act that will never get beyond it. But it was still really fun stuff. And he put on good matches.
When he came in, and I remember when Billy and Chuck got drafted to SmackDown, it was, all right, boys, we're gonna go celebrate. New robes. And it's just all right. And he was hilarious.
He was. Let's give this match a rating. Out of 5, I'm gonna give it, because it had some really good action. The Jeff going through the table by himself shit did get a little confusing. The Devon return was really epic. I think this was a really strong opener, and I would actually give it a 3-9.
I'm going to say 4-3.
There we go.
What's up, Eric?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, The asshole that started the whole decimal bullshit is going straight number.
Mm-mm. Well, I'm going to give it a 4 as well. So there.
All right.
I'm gonna give it a 393.
I'm still saying 4-3.
I bumped mine up a point 3. All right. Next match, we get the Cruiserweight Championship. And Trailer Park Jamie Noble with Nadia. Jamie Noble, dude. He was fucking badass. I love Jamie Noble back in the Ruthless Aggression era. And he's taken on another one of the Jamies back then, Billy Kidman. And Billy Kidman, which, by the way, I don't know if Billy Kidman should come out to gangster rap. He just doesn't seem like I love the theme song. I just don't know if it fits Billy Kidman.
It fits him perfectly, yo.
Huh?
I loved it. I think it fit him perfectly.
Okay. Well, then there you go.
Well, remember, I mean, in WCW, he was part of the Filthy Animals, and they came out to rap music. And to be honest with you, I mean, he's tan. So, like, Billy Kidman's always the only time Billy Kidman was technically ever really a white meat, as in like, pasty white, was when he first started in WCW, and then when he was part of the Flock. But then when he started doing where like he would wrestle with his shirt off and all that, he got himself a nice tan, very, very good looking, very good looking man.
Now he's chubby.
Yeah. Well, he realized, he's like, all right, Tori Wilson divorced me. I don't have to keep this up anymore. Somebody pass me the Oreos.
Yeah.
Which I say that anyway.
Yeah. Tori Wilson divorced you, or pass me the Oreos?
Pass me the Oreos.
Okay. But no, I just Billy Kidman, like, it's fucking, and it's one of my favorite theme songs as a kid. I used to, when we did our backyard wrestling stuff, used to come out to that song. Yeah. so I thought I was badass too. But fucking Billy Kidman, I don't know. There's something about him says a little something like the waking up with your clothes off and stuff. It's like Billy Kidman's not robbing you in the night and taking your clothes off and stuff. I mean, it's just lyrics to a song, but it is one of my favorite WWE theme songs of all time, though. I think it's a really fun track.
Speaking of themes, we're going to at one point we're going to do a tier list. I brought it up to Daniel last week. Remember?
Yeah.
What, a theme song tier list?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do one in the future.
A future episode.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do one of those for a while, so I'm cool with that.
Cleneth, what's your favorite theme song?
Oh, man. I'll have to go Kings and G-Generation X, the remix.
Those are two great ones. That's two great choices. I would personally, I'd have to go Sexy Boy. I'd have to go.
I'm gonna go with Limp Bizkit, Undertaker's
rolling.
Or Macho Man.
See, I liked Undertaker's second American Badass one. You're gonna pay. I like that one.
Oh, mine. Oh, there's so many to fucking choose from. Jake the Snake.
It's a good one.
The original.
Billy Gunn comes to mind too.
Yeah.
Cheap plug. We did that last week, so check that out in the archives.
Yes. But Billy Kidman, I think this is probably the most over Billy Kidman's ever been, and I'm a huge fan of him, and I love his WCW stuff. It pissed me off so bad. He is one of the biggest casualties of the Russo era of WCW. Because his whole stuff with the Flock and the way he was set up in WCW, he was about to become a big star and he was getting ready. And yes, I get it. Russo put him with Hogan, but it was bad shit and Hogan didn't want to be there. And it was fucking like they did not do Billy Kidman any favors. And I remember watching like Nitro, like in Viagra on a pole matches, and they would have him out 9 segments on a show so the crowd would get sick of him. Like, it's just they did not book him the way he needed to be booked. And then unfortunately he got here and he had to do the cruiserweight gig. But I always thought he could have ended up being in the main event somehow. But this is probably like he was by the end of it, the crowd was a little quiet at the beginning, and him and Jamie worked such a perfect match. Him and Noble just went at it, and he had the fucking high flying moves and jumping over the ropes and shit. And Jamie was keeping it grounded in the ring and slowing the pace down and stuff. And it was a perfect, dynamic. And by the end of it, the crowd was popping fucking huge when he finally hit the shooting star and got the win.
The only thing I don't like is all the big moves they were hitting, and it just took 2 punches to keep Noble down so he could hit the shooting star.
Yeah, but he was tired from the match.
I mean, yeah, you could argue that, but it's just like, all right, he gets hit with the BK bomb, with the sit-out power bomb. He gets hit with like a top rope face buster or something.
Yeah.
And it's 2 punches and then the shooting star. Like, I was never a fan of that.
No. I can see that. It did not affect me personally. I thought the match was like damn near perfect. It was great cruiserweight action. I thought those two kicked each other's ass. I thought Jamie was a great heel. And I thought Billy Kidman, like, a great baby face, good championship win. It was a feel-good moment on this card. It gets lost in the shuffle, and it shouldn't. This was a match I would recommend to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Very good match.
Yeah, it's a very good match. Very, very.
So there you go.
I gave it a 4-2.
He's going back down.
Back to the decimals.
I'm going to give it a 4-5. I think it's really close to being almost perfect. It was a great work match. For the second match on the card, which isn't a great position on the card because they're coming down from that opener, I thought it kept the momentum rolling great. And I thought it was an amazing match.
I'm going to say just regular 4. Because, again, I did not like the fact that it was just the 2 punches and then the shooting star. I felt like it should have been a little more.
Well, I want to give it a 4 as well.
Him and I are agreeing.
I know it happens sometimes. Next up, we got the women's championship. One with Nowinski and all that was
That was later. I think that was
the
before.
main event. Right?
Yeah.
Because I remember you being like, let's get to the packaging.
Yeah.
But all right, we get a great video package for this women's championship match, almost better than the match itself. Victoria and Trish Stratus in the iconic first ever women's hardcore match for WWE for the women's title. And this was a big character work moment for Victoria that was getting a lot of screen time on Raw, and her whole obsession with Trish and how she wants to be the pretty girl and she's crazy and she wants to take down Trish so she can be this hero. And Trish is like this good guy that's like becoming the face of the women and really becoming Trish Stratus. I still think Trish was a little green here, and I thought she didn't work this match as great as Victoria. Like, I thought Victoria was really trying. I thought Trish was a bit clunky at times. I thought this match, it did not like have – it had some cool spots in it, but it was a bit clunky from them not really – you can tell the hardcore setting threw the two ladies off a little bit.
Yeah.
And
well, it threw Trish off more than it threw Victoria off.
100%. 100%. But the video package was amazing.
Yeah.
It built this
It's
up
so
like
neat.
one of the biggest matches on the card.
Yeah, it was so good. It was such a good video package, and the match was all right. But if you notice, like a lot of the like clunky spots were, unfortunately, they were done by Trish.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Trish was fucking up some stuff. And she was still kind of green here. She was coming into her own and putting on some good matches around the time, and she would get better and better and better. But she was a bit. I think Victoria was on her game for sure.
Yeah.
I would not put this performance at Victoria. I thought the extinguisher spot at the end was cool, but beating her, you need a little more than a snap suplex in a hardcore match.
Well, she didn't even debut the Widow's Peak yet, right?
I don't think so.
I think that was the next night on Raw.
You got to give her a better finish than a snap suplex.
Yeah.
I like random endings to matches sometimes, but save that for Raw. Like for the big pay-per-view, let's get a nice, concise finish where she bashes Trish's face in or something. And that because she's so obsessed. And let's really work on that character. Just having her get it done with a snap suplex was a little late. So I would overall give this match, because I think it was the weakest match on the card. No offense to the ladies. I thought this was built up. I thought both girls did try, but ultimately the final product, I give it like a 2-3.
So I'm going to, or go ahead, Eric.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
All right.
So, I mean, Eric's being very.
I give the video package a 5.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Eric's being generous towards the women here. I'm going to say 3, only because there were some spots that were clunky, but it wasn't because both girls suck. It was just Trish was being tasked, I think, with carrying the match, but she wasn't necessarily all there yet. Victoria, and by the way, Victoria's beginnings. Remember, she started off as one of the Godfather's hoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
And then after that, she went to OVW. She was Doug Basham's manager. She was Queen Victoria. Okay.
Oh.
And then she came in and she got this real big push, and she's a fantastic athlete. She does deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. My opinion. Now I know they gave that to Undertaker's wife this year because she's Undertaker's wife.
But I agree with you.
So you don't agree with the Michelle McCool?
Well, it's not that I don't agree with it. I think others should go in before her. I'm not going to disrespect Michelle. I do like Michelle McCool, but I think others should go in before her.
She had a decent run, and she was not bad, but that's not enough for Hall of Fame for me. I don't think. What's her most famous storyline is like the insensitive one where she's making fun of Mickey James for gaining a couple pounds, and it was so fucked up, and they were getting backlash for it. And it's like, why are you calling Mickey fat? This is stupid. And her
they were calling her fat because she got upset because John Cena dumped her, and Vince wasn't going to punish Cena, so he's like, you know what? She's got a little muffin in her belly.
It was really good heel work. I'm not gonna lie, it was good heel work, and I don't care about insensitive shit. So I thought it was good. She was good back at, but that's her best stuff. Besides that, her splitting the belts with Layla and stuff was pretty cool. And Lay Cool was a little cool combination, and she had some good. But managing, who'd she manage? Fucking
Casey James and Idol Stevens before Idol Stevens became Damian Sandow.
Yes.
I mean, she's going in because she's probably she's the Undertaker's
Well,
wife.
she's not probably the Undertaker's wife. She is the Undertaker's wife. All right. That's not a probably. All right. The marriage certificate is out there.
I'm just saying, I don't think she.
I misspoke. I meant to say,
yeah,
she had because she is the Undertaker's wife.
She had a good career, and she's a victim of the time of only getting 3 minutes a match and getting her matches cut and all that Divas bullshit before they let the women actually be on the show. So she fucking, had to put up with a lot and stuff. She has a good body of work. I'm just saying, if we're talking the Hall of Fame, if Lex doesn't make it in this year, man, what the fuck?
I have a feeling he's gonna because he got the interview with Van Vliet.
I hope he does. He needs to go.
Well, and here's why I say this. Michelle gets an interview. She's asked about Hall of Fame. Next day, Triple H says, oh, yeah, by the way, Michelle, you're going in the Hall. The only reason why they haven't announced Lex yet is, one, they don't know what day they're putting the damn thing on.
Because, listen, I'll give you the WCW Lex and NWA Lex is way fucking better than WWE Lex could ever be. But still, whose run is better? Michelle McCool's WWE run or Lex Luger's WWE run? Royal Rumble was still, we gave it high reviews with him and Brett winning. I mean, yeah, he lost but him slamming Yoko was a big deal. He had a couple moments. The arrogant thing at the beginning, the narcissist gimmick at first was cool. He did not have I would say he might have had a better run in WWE even than Michelle McCool, in my opinion.
I agree.
Maybe it's close, but I don't know. I think he had a better run there.
I mean, and they've put non-WWE guys in before. Great Muta went in. Great Muta never stepped foot in a WWE ring. In 2015, they inducted Tatsumi Fujinami. A lot of people are going to look and be like, who the hell is Tatsumi Fujinami?
But here's the thing. We're not on the committee and we don't come up with it, and it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, if she deserves to be...
I've been writing letters.
They come up with it. The Triple H is in it again. And, like, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
At the Hall of Fame. That's their Hall of Fame, and they can honor whoever they want to honor. I love Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson, and fucking I grew up watching them and thinking they were hot. Do I think they're Hall of Famers? Absolutely not. but it is what it is. And I get it. You know, I understand. But and it was nice to see them again and stuff. But I don't know. I think you got to have kind of a pretty solid body of work. But maybe to them they do. And Michelle McCool definitely has the most solid out of all those three. She had a better, especially in-ring career than Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler.
Yeah.
Tori and Stacy might have been involved in some cooler things, but both them had to do stuff with Vince, though.
Yeah.
Triple H is headline, right?
Yeah. All right. So did everybody give
I gave it a
Hardcore-
2-3. You give it a 3-5.
or Eric gave it to 3.5? I gave it a 3.
What's your money give?
And I want to give it a 3 as well.
All right. So let's move on to a way better fucking match. Like I was talking about the SmackDown no. Big Show and Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship.
This was a shocker. It's just like, okay, you're going to have somebody beat Brock Lesnar or first time pin Brock Lesnar. A lot of people would think, well, why the hell is it the Big Show?
They always had this weird faith in the Big Show out of nowhere sometimes. And it would be like and then they would give up on him and then they would bring him back and fuck with him again. And it's like, and first of all, Big Show didn't win the title. Paul Blart won the title. He was fucking rocking his mall cop haircut. I don't know what the fuck
was annoying back then.
here, but I liked when he grew the hair out around this time in the Ruthless. I fucked with that, and then the bald head through the PG era, I didn't mind. But this was weird. This was funny.
This was the more annoying Paul Heyman.
Yeah, but he was still good, and he was still fun. And I thought Brock was. I mean, Brock was only a babyface for 2 weeks at this point, and then they have Paul turn on him because Paul can't be a babyface for more than 2 weeks. And Paul switched on him. But it was a shocker, and it was fun, and it's a part of their story, and it's the first time he fucked him over. Not the last time, but it's the first time. Paul would go on to screw him another day, at least once.
Yeah.
But I thought this was it wasn't terrible. It's not the best thing on the card, but it is a pretty good match. And those two had great chemistry.
Yeah, and it's a good shock moment. And here's the thing is that, like, Brock
and Show could go together.
Yeah. Which is good because at this time, Big Show was, like, obese.
Yeah. He was like 500.
He was 500 pounds. They did not want him to be 500 pounds. They wanted him to be less than that. He... Again, fan of the Oreos, he didn't want to lose weight. It's like, it's like when Chris Hero was part of NXT and they kept saying, Chris, please lose weight. And yeah, it's
a vanity business. I mean, you get your big guys that meet, like, I don't want Vader to lose weight. I don't really want you. I mean, Yoko, when he was getting bad, I'd like Yoko to stay around 94 Yoko, or like 92 Yoko. Like, if he could stay around that, then. But like, because in 96, he was like, it was getting pretty crazy. He could barely move in there, but because he used to be pretty agile. But like Vader, like there's some guys that like even, but. You see it now when people put a lot of time into their bodies and shit, success happens. Look at Walter. Look at Gunther. And we were talking about Akira Tozawa. He was a chubby guy. He was a chubby dude. And now he's a fucking really in shape dude. And he's got a career, and he's a part of cool stuff.
Look at Big Show now. Big Show's only like 315 pounds.
Look at Big Show. Look at Nia Jax. Look at Kevin Owens.
I'd rather not.
Look at Kevin Owens. Look at these people are putting time into their bodies. Look at Drew McIntyre. Little Twink, 2011 Twink McIntyre would have never been in the position he is now if he didn't leave and get ripped. He needed to leave the company, get jacked, and come back. And even Cody really focused on his body. And because it's a business that, you kind of got to look like a god a little bit. The gods look buff. They don't look like me and Doug. We're the gods of wisdom and sexiness.
I look more like Danny DeVito's character from Hercules than I do Hercules himself.
That's true. This match I thought was solid. I love the moments where Brock picks Big Show up and with the big, F5 and everything. But the swerve at the end was pretty cool, and I like how Paul did the run away into the ring, and then he got him with it. I love that spot, and it's the most overdone spot in history, but it's fun as fuck.
Yeah.
So I would jump this one up to a 3.7.
I'm gonna say 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
I want to give it a 3.
You didn't like it? Heard it was all right?
It was all right. It could have been better, but overall, I was like a big fan of the ending. But overall, like wrestling, that's what was missing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 4 because of the ending.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, and before, and I know, and I feel bad, having to say this before every episode, but when you're talking about a sensitive subject with Benoit and stuff, because like the wrestling, like I said, the wrestling is the art, and I watch it for the art. But when he's doing backstage segments with Kurt Angle and you're getting into his personality and stuff, it does become a little more eerie. But Kurt Angle was he was gold back then with the comedy.
Partners don't shake hands. Partners gotta hug, which is a ripoff of Tommy Boy. When Tommy Boy's like, brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Yeah, then he gives Benoit a big hug, and Benoit's like, bullshit. Like, it's a funny moment, but it's,
Yeah, he's just like, seriously?
Yeah. But it's fun. The dynamic that those two had of the tough rabid Wolverine, badass that'll go in there and, beat anybody's ass against or with this odd, like, who's also a legitimate badass that can fuck you up any day of the week, but is this goofball who's just silly as hell. He's just a silly, dumb, and he's kind of a dick. Like, there's so many elements to Kurt Angle's character back then, and this is the year that he became the best version of himself.
Yep.
The Attitude Era Kurt, they gave him the gold. He did some all right stuff. He was getting there. He was a part of good stuff, but he wasn't like Rock Austin Triple H over.
Right.
He wasn't like 2002, 2003 is when he starts putting on 5-star matches regularly. Even though Meltzer's never given him one, he put on fucking consistently amazing matches and great performances. And he was one of the most believable, awesome wrestlers. And you had Edge and Mysterio, who were a great babyface. Edge wasn't really connecting yet as a baby, and you can tell the crowd never really cheered for him back then as much. Sometimes you got big pops, but even here, people were a little more excited to see Lo Ray Ray. But and then you had the lie, the cheat, the steal. Even though they weren't doing that yet, they came out to Latino Heat, which threw me all the way the fuck off. But Eddie Guerrero and Chavo, because I was getting ready for it. We did, but then it's like Latino Heat, and I'm like, oh shit. And then they're coming out dancing and shit. And I thought it was this is definitely the best wrestled match on the card. It's not my favorite match on the card because the main event is the main event. It's the first ever and it's stellar. But this match, it had extremely good wrestling, had some really good spots, and had some awesome story to it. And it had some, like with Kurt, I love when Kurt and Benoit, they lose the match, and then they fucking start beating everybody's ass and just fuck everybody up, German suplex.
Yeah, and then they start yelling at each other again.
Yeah.
They're like brothers that fight.
Exactly.
And the thing about Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, and Kurt Angle has said this many times, he's like, look, if we want to erase Chris Benoit from wrestling history, you're taking out a lot of my good matches.
Yeah.
And now that's not Kurt Angle defending Chris Benoit. It's Kurt Angle just saying, hey, yes, he's a monster. Yes, what he did was wrong. But he still gave me really good matches. It's like, people sticking up for, right? It's not necessarily the same thing, but like when somebody says, oh, Vince McMahon was my friend, I can't say anything really bad about him. But with Benoit, it was, Kurt Angle's not defending Chris Benoit, the man. Kurt Angle is just saying, hey, you want to admire my career, but yet you want to erase half of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. His best work was probably in WWE was probably against Benoit.
Or with Benoit.
Yeah.
Sure. Him and Benoit had fucking classics. And especially now, if they want to cancel Brock too, it's like, what the fuck are you doing to poor Kurt? Kurt and two of his best opponents for Brock and Benoit.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is that, like, and this is what, and again, and I'm not going to dismiss Janelle Grant, but it's just like when they amended the lawsuit a few weeks ago, and they actually put Brock Lesnar's name in the lawsuit.
Yeah. When
they just assumed that it was him like last year, but now it's just like, because there had started being rumblings of Brock coming back. And and this is what I don't like about attorneys, is that, like, because you see it and, television's television, and I get that, but like you see it in like crime shows all the time. The attorneys do half of what they do to try to stir shit up. They don't give a fuck about their client.
Yeah.
They care more about, just fucking people's lives over. Like, it had been rumbled because it's just like, all right, Brock's been off of TV for a year. He's not necessarily named in the lawsuit. Let's start thinking about ways to bring him back. Janelle Grant's team hears about this, and then they amend the lawsuit and put Brock's name in it. And it's just like, you fucking scumbag people. Now, if Brock did something wrong, then I understand that. But you're going to leave his name out of it, but now that they're saying he's coming back, now you're going to say something?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just like, you should have said something before. Because now it makes you look suspicious. And I'm not sticking up for Vince McMahon. All right? If he did what they're accusing him of doing, well, he's going to go to hell anyway. Well, we know he's going to hell. That's one of the reasons why he's still alive, is because Satan's afraid he's going to take it over when he gets there. That's the only reason why Vince McMahon is still alive to this day, is because Satan does not want him in hell. And, God doesn't want him up there. But I'm not taking up for Vince McMahon. I'm just saying is that, like, these people are just, like, Janelle Grant's team is just like, they should have just, quit while you're ahead, because now it's because of the amended lawsuit, you're making it look like, okay, now we're grasping at straws here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This was a great wrestling match. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the Guerreros did a great job. They really cut off the ring, and Angle's, of course, incredible. I would give this a...
Chavo did not want to let go of that fucking tag title. He might as well have just fucking glued it to his hand.
Yeah. That was his thing, was cheating with that. And they were building up the whole lie, cheat, and steal thing here. But, yeah, I would give this a 4.8. This was almost...
I would almost say that it's... I'm going to give it a 5. I thought it was good.
There you go. I agree with you, Doug. I agree with you. I agree with you.
And Doug, 5.
Oh my God, I was the ringleader.
Well, I was going to give it a 5 either way, but I do. It was the most exciting match, triple threat tag team. The stuff with Angle and Benoit, how they started feuding after the missed shot of the tag titles.
Yeah,
got them eliminated. How Edge was forced to tap out. Oh my God, it was great.
Yeah, it was so good. By the way, it was Mysterio who tapped out.
Yo, yeah.
So, but yeah, it was so good. It's like you wish they would do triple threat tag matches like that now.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No, you don't want them to do triple threat tag matches like
No,
that now?
I do. No, we haven't seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah.
It was cool. I'm not a fan of the triple threat tag match, but if you're gonna do it with any 6 guys, these are the 6 guys to do it with.
Yeah, because they could all go in the ring. Like, I'm not saying that they need to put fucking Pretty Deadly, the Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY.
Well, yeah, and I think of the 4-way WrestleMania 20 tag matches, and they all kind of blew.
Yeah.
But
I mean, TLC ones are amazing too.
That's different.
Well, I think the fact that this was elimination, this kind of added something.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I love the elimination aspect to this and the opening match. But yeah, all right, let's move on. We get the big Christopher Nowinski and Matt Hardy unite to tell everybody that they're stupid and
that they're losers.
They're stupid losers. And then Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner makes his big debut. His Turner contract ran out, and he said, "Let me get some of that Vince bread." And he came down and he fucking, with his bad knees and all, ripped his shirt off. He was over as fuck, got a huge pop. The crowd loved it. He did the whole holla if you hear me. And the big booty daddy's got your hook up and all that shit. And he's the man. And he kicked ass and took names. And it was a cool set. I mean, because Matt Hardy and Nowinski were playing good heel roles.
Yeah.
And they were being annoying. And he came out and did some babyface shit and riled the crowd up. I thought it was a good way to lead us into the chamber. Instead of going from a great match to the chamber, it's nice to have a little lead into that.
Yeah. So you can give everybody time to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll go to the bathroom.
And I love me some Scott Steiner. And everybody the people have been barking at the Steiners for years, for fucking decades, dude.
Yeah.
Because they were barking here at Scotty, too.
And it's amazing that the Steiner legacy is going to, live on, obviously. You got Braun Breaker. Scott's son is about to graduate college, and Scott's already said that as a matter of fact, I believe he's already signed to WWE.
Yeah, after he played football, because I forgot what game it was, but they even said it on TV.
Yeah, like he's part of that Next in Line program.
Yep.
Is he going to be part of is he part of LFG?
Who?
Scott Steiner's son. I can't remember his name. I know it starts with a B, though.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that.
I do know that Evander Holyfield's son is part of that. And he was part of that segment on Raw Monday night where he said that, he was the one that said, "Oh, I hope to be as good as Road Dogg on the mic one day." And that's when Michael Cole's just like, "Good luck, kid." And then when I found out that that's Evander Holyfield's son, I'm just like, "Oh, please book the boxing match between Evander Holyfield and Michael Cole."
Oh, he would kick his ass. Michael Cole would kick his ass. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Main event
versus Jake Paul.
That would be awesome.
A lot of people would bitch about that.
We get the first ever Elimination Chamber. Like I said, Bischoff comes out, talks his shit. But then we get our 6 competitors.
Bischoff talk shit? No.
He was a great heel. We get Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, Chris Jericho, Booker T, Kane, in which Rob Van Dam, Kane, and Shawn were 3 of the hottest baby faces at the time.
Oh, absolutely. And Booker wasn't too shabby either.
Yeah, Booker was really popping. And then you had the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H. And the 6 competitors they chose for this first ever one was probably the perfect 6 to go with. Because these guys, you had the high flying of Rob Van Dam, you had the theatrics of Booker, you had the badassery of Kane, you had the cunningness of Chris Jericho, you had the heart of Shawn Michaels, and you had the question, can Triple H do it? And that was the perfect, all those chemicals combined made the perfect story for this Elimination Chamber. And it wasn't even just about the brutality. It was the little stories throughout too. And even though I thought this was, I'm surprised going back and watching, I forgot that they didn't get all 6 guys in the ring. Like Sean came into
I forgot that too.
I forgot about that.
I forgot there was 2 eliminations before even Sean got in.
Rob and Booker were out of there before
I was like, wait, they didn't have all 6 guys in one ring, not even for like a minute.
No, I mean, and I understand like they do, they do that more like nowadays, but still, there's been even recent chambers I think where one guy's been at least eliminated before the 6th guy gets in, or 6th woman gets in.
Yeah.
I was just surprised. That's what's so great about going back and watching. You forget stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, didn't they do a chamber, the shitty one that Dogface Baszler won?
Jesus.
She won one?
I can't help it. She looks like a mutt.
Stop. I don't think I've seen that one.
I forgot that she won one.
That was in 2020.
Okay, and
Cleneth,
were you there?
Yes, I was there.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, or play along, whatever you decide to do. Did Shayna was not the last person to enter the chamber, right? But she eliminated everybody.
I'm not sure when did she got in, but she did eliminate everybody. Yes.
What you go in the face?
She wrestled Becky at WrestleMania that year, but it was her, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Natalya, and Asuka, and I believe Shayna entered the match 4th, maybe 3rd or 4th, and she just beat the shit. And like it got to the point she eliminated like the first 2 or 3 in the match, and then she just kept waiting for people to come in.
Yeah.
And like she would just eliminate them after like 3 minutes, and it was just like. And by the way, it was the main event of the show, right, Cleneth?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't?
You know that
It wasn't.
Okay.
It made her look like a badass, but yet she didn't win the world title.
Yeah. So it was just like, and that was a real shitty chamber, but again, that's how it was booked.
Yeah.
But see this one, but they could get away with it here because you still had enough people to like create drama.
I thought they didn't have fans in 2020.
This was the week before the world shut down.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I remember.
This was Cleneth's last show before the Pandusky.
I thought it was like so weird how everybody was there.
And then the next week.
The following week.
Yeah, the following week we're fucking.
It was the following day. It's literally the following day.
They still had people at Raw, right?
No.
Oh wow.
Were you like, damn, I was around all those people.
You know what? It was made worse, better. It was because all the fans were sitting there yelling out every time someone go to the bathroom. It was like, make sure you wash your hands. We can't afford that. The world shutting down. We got to go to work tomorrow. And then, you know.
It's funny as hell.
Yeah, like what I remember, because I remember like they started taking precautions like that week, but nothing had officially like shut down yet, I don't think. And I remember Eric was here with us. We were doing a show. We interviewed Scott Casey that week on the show.
Oh yeah.
And Eric, we're all sitting there together on the couch doing the interview, and nobody really thought of it. It's like, there was rumblings that there was this pandemic, but like nobody was really, stuff was starting to shut down, but people weren't taking it seriously. People didn't start taking it seriously until it was announced that Tom Hanks actually got COVID. It's like, oh, it's just the St. Louis Blues, they decide they're not going to play the rest of their hockey game. Oh, they're a bunch of pussies. They're a bunch of pussies. It's just the flu. Oh, well, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're going to go into quarantine. They're canceling their games. Oh, what a bunch of pussies. It's just the flu. Tom Hanks got COVID. Oh, my God, shut the world down. We can't have anything happen to Tom Hanks.
Was that the last time I went to your house for a while?
Yeah, exactly. But
we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying is that it's funny how people are people are just like, oh my God, COVID. Oh, it's stupid. It's just the flu. Tom Hanks, who hadn't made a good movie for up to 3 years at that point. He gets COVID. It's like, oh my God, put him in a bubble and shut the world down. You fucking pussies.
Yep. Hard to believe that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
This match was incredible. When Rob Van Dam, it's a wrestling show. Somehow we get to done calling Tom Hanks a pussy. But
no, I'm not calling Tom Hanks a pussy. I'm saying that
the world's pussies.
The world's a bunch of fucking idiots because it's just like, oh, just because one guy got. And by the way, he's fine. Him and his wife are living a happy life right now. He's got a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't have been in fucking Denmark or wherever the fuck he was filming the movie. Stay in the States.
All right. When Rob Van Dam did the frog splash,
I'm killing time is what I'm doing.
When Rob Van Dam did the frog splash on the Triple H and fucking crushed the game's larynx. And terrible Triple H impression, but he crushed Triple H's throat, and Triple H, and you could tell throughout the whole thing the guy couldn't breathe, and Triple H, the ultimate fucking get hurt and finish the fucking match guy, complete badass and consummate professional, finished this thing. But there was a few spots where he was like, all right, Jericho, go do some shit. I'm gonna chill out in the corner and try to breathe for a little bit. But Rob didn't get any heat for it. Mistakes happen, and it wasn't Rob's fault totally. The way the chamber,
he took it out on Booker and Scott Steiner instead.
Exactly. But he's like, all right, I hate WCW. He was on WCW, right? And so it was like, yeah, fuck it, he was on WCW.
No, Rob Van Dam was an ECW guy.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the joke I'm making.
Yeah.
But
I got Tom Hanks on the brain.
Yeah, that'll give you some laps. But the way the cage was angled, and you can tell now because when you see the chamber much wider of a surface, this original design of the original structure, poor Rob, his back was to the cage and he was like kind of folded over, so he kind of had to just flop forward at Triple H. He couldn't get the full fucking and do the full frog splash. If he could have done his full deal, it would have been fine.
Now, he tried that at first because he was going to do it early in the match, and Jericho kind of stopped him.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe Jericho knew it wasn't going to work? So,
well, I don't know. That seemed like a planned spot, and I thought that was cool too because that built up to it. So then when he finally got up there, it was like, oh, this is awesome. He's going to do it.
And then it just turned into a fucking knee drop to the throat.
I didn't like that it took himself out, though. Because it was like, oh,
yeah, because Booker drop kicked him right away. And
I know what they were trying to do. The chamber's so dangerous that you can take yourself out.
Yeah.
But it was still like, I didn't like it because Booker shouldn't. I'm glad that Booker got a pinfall. It was big for him to get a win. And I don't think that he shouldn't have eliminated anybody. But I do think it should have been Jericho in that instance because the whole crowd kind of turned on Booker and booed because Rob Van Dam was so incredible in that match and such an over babyface that since Booker's the one that pinned him, the whole crowd's like, and Booker's one of the hotter baby faces in there too. So he should like have the crowd behind him, not booing him. And I know they're not booing him. They're booing the fact that Rob's gone, but still he's the one doing it. But I mean, it's a match and it's every man for itself. And that is what it is. You got to fight for yourself in that. So, but personally, I would have. So Booker doesn't get his shit on. I would have went with Jericho to pin him. And but Jericho worked a great match and did a lot of smart things in this. And you can tell because I've seen the behind the scenes where they're all studying the cage. And it's funny because Booker looks at Triple H. He's like, one of us is getting fucked up tonight. And Triple H just looks at him. And this is totally like behind the scenes like that. And then later on, fucking, Triple H is the one that got fucked up hit him with his throat. But yeah, they're all studying the cage. And Jericho's like, yeah, we could do some cool stuff here. And Rob was looking at it. And there's some cool behind the scenes, and they just released yesterday. Shawn Michaels and Booker went back and
watched it, right?
And watched it and talked about it for 40 minutes, which I'd love to watch that. But we got to talk about Shawn Michaels' little Dutch boy haircut. Because that is the one thing that really him and the brown pants, because he does
the poop emoji pants.
He is not the sexy boy here. He is not with the red and the fucking the chaps and all that shit. He is wearing the fucking weird brown tights, and he looks like one of Shrek's merry men, like one of the merry men from Shrek.
Go ahead, Cleneth.
When it comes to that look, I still think he was still trying to figure out if he was going to come back and test out his bet. I mean, SummerSlam was a great success. He pulled it off. And then this is his second match back.
Yeah, but you're winning the world title, Cleneth. Like, you don't need to look like Lord Farquaad.
Well, we didn't know that at the time. I didn't think that Shawn Michaels was going to win this match.
Yeah,
who was your pick at the time, Cleneth?
I was really thinking that Triple H was going to find a way to retain.
All right, Eric, who did you at the time? Not when you were watching this, because obviously, unless you are as big a boob as I think you are, you knew obviously that Shawn Michaels had won. But at the time when this first aired, who was it your actual pick to win?
Probably Triple H, if I remember correctly. if I didn't even watched it live.
Okay.
I was rooting for Kane as a kid.
When
I first watched the DVD when you showed me, because I was still. I mean, 04 is when I remember becoming really cognizant. Well, actually, like 03-ish.
Yeah.
But I was still paying attention at 02, but I was still a little young, and it was. I mean. Kane, I thought Kane was badass, and he was a cool baby face, and he had that sick persona. I thought he could win it. And
I was,
but I thought he could be the guy that kicks everybody's tuchus. And I also thought Rob Van Dam had a chance. No, you're fine.
It was for me. I think it was either Kane or RVD. Like, I wanted Kane to win, but I felt like RVD had a shot. But then when I found out it was Shawn, it's like, of course. But yeah, it's weird because you kind of think about it back then. It's like, who did we actually think was going to win this shit? Like, I remember going to WrestleMania when I went to WrestleMania 18 earlier that year. I thought I remember I did not picture Rob Van Dam winning the Intercontinental title from Regal. I thought Regal was gonna retain. I mean, I figured Triple H was gonna beat Jericho, and I figured Rock was gonna beat Hogan and all that. But I also thought, because I felt like all the baby faces had to get the payoff, so I thought Ric Flair was gonna beat Undertaker. I didn't know that they were still gonna build this streak.
Yeah.
By the way, I give this match a 5.
This is a 5.
I give it a 5 too.
It's a 5.
Cleneth, would you like to add to that?
5. It's a 5. 5 all the way. 5.
Shawn Michaels had that hero baby face, his return. It was cemented with this, and the celebration. It was a great moment for Shawn Michaels to beat his old friend, turn rival in this bitter fucking scenario. I thought this was perfect, and I thought it was great for Triple H to do the favors here for Shawn. And it's Shawn's last ever world championship, win. And it's crazy that it's, the big gold belt, not the WWE championship that he's known for. But
it's Square Garden too.
Yeah,
They called it. I remember the .com headline being "Miracle on 34th Street."
that's sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I thought it was a big win for him. It didn't last. They did the 3 stages of hell. They like doing the brutal matches with those two.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I thought this was a great match, and all the other guys, like these were great moments for Booker, Kane, Rob, and even Jericho looked like the smartest guy in the match. And when Jericho got put to the glass, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a 5. Now, what is everybody's best chamber of all? What's their favorite chamber to ever exist? Since the Elimination Chamber's tomorrow, what's your favorite chamber that has ever taken place? And if it's the one that Jack Swagger won, you're off the show.
I'm going to say this one.
I'm
I'm actually going to say this one. 2002.
Man,
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
The first?
Yep. That's one of the reasons why I picked it too.
I'm going to say 05 with Triple H, Benoit, Jericho, Orton, Batista, and Edge.
Yeah, when they were teasing the Batista switch.
Yeah.
That was a good one. What would you go with, Cleneth?
man, there's so many. It's kind of hard to. Man, I don't even know. Cause I do like what was it? The New Year's Revolution.
And that one
Was
too.
it? Yeah, New Year's Revolution.
John Cena?
Yes.
That was a good one. That was a good, even though, and God bless Carlito and Chris Masters for getting to the end of that match. But everybody knew when it was the 3 of them. Cena's winning. I mean, it was cool. You hit him with the ultimate swerve after that with Edge, but it was that. God bless Carlito and Chris Masters. But that was a damn good match. I would have to go the one after this. I really liked SummerSlam in 2003 because you had all the big names. You had Nash. I know a lot of people were upset that Goldberg didn't win the match, but I thought it was a cool setup for Triple H. And he couldn't do it the first time. Can he do it this time? And Goldberg's this big threat. And he cheated, but he found a way to do it. And I thought it set up for the match. And a lot of people thought that killed it. And I guess that's
remember Triple H couldn't work the match.
Yeah.
All right, because Triple H and Goldberg were supposed to go at it 1-on-1, but then Triple H tore his penis. I'm not going to say fucking who because we don't know. It could have been Stephanie. Could have been the other person I've accused him of fucking.
It was Stephanie. You're right.
So all right, we'll go with that.
They got married in 2003. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I know that. That's why I'm saying but we know who I've accused him of sleeping with for many years.
But the idea of Shawn doing it back to back is what really got me. And that one, Shawn being in there, Jericho trying to get retribution, Triple H again, and then the addition of Kevin Nash, and this was kind of his last thing there. And then a young Randy Orton, and him kind of being the role of protecting Triple H. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and then Triple H was not able to work the match. That's why when he entered the match, he went back in the chamber, and you had that useless fuck Ric Flair.
Useful in that moment.
He's still a fucking piece of shit. Basically holding the door shutters like, you're not getting in here. You're not getting in here. It's like somebody on the outside fucking trip him up, make him tear his ACL so he's off fucking television.
Yeah.
Fuck Ric Flair.
But yeah, I thought Triple H played a good heel in that, but yeah, definitely.
Fuck Ric Flair and fuck Tom Hanks for getting everybody worked up about the COVID.
People are mad at him about the SNL thing too. But we're going to move on to our final thoughts on the pay-per-view. I think we're all pretty high on this, and we'll give it a rating out of 10. I'll go first. I thought this was incredible. Front to top to bottom, I thought it was like almost a perfect card with everything on it. You had Carnage and Spectacle in the main event. You had really good wrestling the match before that. You had a good, new presentation for the women. And even though that match wasn't it was probably the worst match on the card. It was still like innovative and something different and something cool to do with Trish and Victoria. So like that has its place here. This is the best Billy Kidman's ever looked. We got a Dudley Boy reunion. You know, Brock and Paul Heyman got to do some character shit, which was cool. I thought everything on here was pretty damn solid, and I'd give this show a 9-4.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I thought this was a great pay-per-view. You had a little bit of everything. You had Elimination Chamber, you had Hardcore, you had your basic match, you had your tag team matches, and you had your 6-man tag, so you had a little bit of everything. I'm actually going to give it a 10 out of 10.
No shit. That's just because he recommended it.
Yeah. Well,
he's like, this is my pick. I picked the best show.
Well,
See, buddy, what do you?
okay. I'll have to give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, from the Elimination Chamber, standout match, just 5-star match with Billy Kidman for the Cruiserweight Championship, the Dudley Boy reunion, the women's title match, that was even okay for once. For everything, stellar card.
right. So,
Get home, Doug.
well, Daniel and I are already home, and I'm pretty sure you guys are at your houses too. So
It's the same.
Survivor Series and Royal Rumble to me have always been two very, very stellar events. Survivor Series hasn't really been the same since they took out the elimination matches, and there was no elimination matches here. Well, the tables match,
And then this.
and then this, and then the triple threat match.
But it wasn't those traditional Survivor Series match.
There was elimination factors.
Yeah.
But this was still such a good pay-per-view. This was a perfect example of how fun the Ruthless Aggression era could be.
Yeah.
And you had some really good wrestling, because this is where I think the wrestling started to get better.
That was a great sentence right there. I think you encaptured it with that one. This kind of encaptures the Ruthless Aggression era
Yeah.
in this page, especially early on, before you get the Cena Batista rise.
Yeah, exactly. 9-7.
Okay.
7.
All right, everybody. Check out the cartoon show tomorrow.
Kim Possible, Recess, Life with Louie, and Ed, and Eddie. I actually know each one of these shows pretty good. I've seen episode like Ed, and Eddie. I think it's been like a year or two, but still, like I have enough on memory.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go back and watch clips on YouTube and all that, because there's no shows fucking available anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
This is the last league battle before we move on to the single elimination tournament, before we try to revive any shows for the battle backs. This is the kids league, and this is going to be probably one of the more underrated battles.
Yes.
Nobody's going to hit 300 points like Batman did, unless I can get enough judges. Like Batman did last week, but still, this is going to be fun, and I can't pick a win. I can't pick a winner right now.
No.
Are we getting 4 judges, or is you, me, Sean, and David?
I'm assuming Dave's going to be on.
That's what I'm assuming too. I have to ask Sean.
Yeah, like he would know. We wouldn't. We don't know shit.
All right. Next week on the wrestling show, Thursday, because me and Doug are going to SmackDown, baby. SmackDown's coming to Philly. You guys got WrestleMania. We get SmackDown after Elimination Chamber. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, we might get a Cena Cody face off. We might get a Cody Cena.
You almost said Cena Cody fetus.
No,
it sounded like that's what you were saying.
Not that. I almost said fade off. No, I didn't say fetus. You're a fetus. But
If you're not going to SmackDown?
No, I'm not going to SmackDown.
So fuck that.
Cleneth said he would rather go to Dynasty.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
say
yeah,
that.
that's right.
Crazy.
Did you get a ticket to go yet?
I mean, for $3 a ticket.
No, I said I wanted to go. I wanted to test it out just to see what it's like to be. I went to a Dynamite. That was good. when it was AEW was first banging, but I just I tried talking my friend to it, and he says, "Yeah, I just can't sit around watching AEWs not like it used to be," and I can see his point.
Yeah, I don't want to watch Mox and Cope. Fuck that. I'm going to see LA. Not yeah.
I'm kind of.
So we're not doing a show. So you're saying we're not doing a show next week, then, right?
No, we're doing a show.
It's Thursday.
We're doing a show on Thursday at 6:30. Will you be able to be on?
And probably breakdown.
No, we're doing the video game rankings.
Video game rankings?
We're ranking every wrestling video game that ever exists next week.
Interesting. It should be good.
All the SmackDown versus Raws, all the old school, the Attitude, the original SmackDown, No Your Raw, Here Comes the Pain, No Mercy, the N64 games, the WCW games, everything. And
You mean the AEW shit?
I mean, Fight Forever sucked, but we can talk about it. We can rank it low. And we'll do that next week, Thursday at 6:30. So we'll see everybody next time. This is Wrestling Through the Years, and we'll peace out, guys.
Later.
Later.
After the breakdown too next week.
Love you, Eric. It's fucked up.